The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com. Okay, welcome back to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. I'm Ryan Stupric.
And I'm Ryan Risky.
And, the Cubs game should be getting underway shortly. We have it pulled up here for everybody, so we'll keep you involved if you're listening to the show live, which for all three of you, thank you. And right now we're going to talk about, there's been tons of Bears injuries. Pernell McPhee was probably the most significant just because he's a pretty good player. He shouldn't be missing too much time, but it's kind of concerning to see that everybody's injured on the Bears. Alshon Jeffrey, Kevin White's out for the season pretty much. Jordan Mills had a bad injury today, I heard, and there's been a lot of bad things happening in this first year with John Fox and Adam Gase and Vic Fangio, and I think pretty much whatever hope that we had for this season to maybe have them go 8-8, that's certainly not going to happen this year.
Yeah, which I mean, that they're like a rebuilding team that's trying to win while rebuilding.
Right. Well, it's hard to rebuild in football. Nobody wants you to anyway. Like in baseball, it's sort of becoming a trend. In football, it's not really a trend to rebuild.
No.
Yet, anyway.
No, I mean, really, in football, you don't really have to rebuild unless you don't have a quarterback. Yeah,
exactly. And, it's kind of it's just kind of strange. But there was also this article on ESPN.com by Jeff Dickerson. He wrote that an ex-Bears GM ranks Jay Cutler 21st among quarterbacks, cites lack of poise as one of his main issues. The man responsible for bringing Jay Cutler to Chicago calls 2015 a make-or-break year for the 32-year-old quarterback. Now, I wouldn't really call this a make-or-break year, would you? I mean, he's a make-or-break year for Jay Cutler would have been 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, I mean... Right
now, it's just
you're just
don't break.
You're just
it's a don't break year. Please don't hurt yourself year. In a story posted on a site, former Chicago Bears general manager Jerry Angelo ranks Cutler 21st among NFL quarterbacks. Has the physical tools, but inconsistent, particularly in the clutch, mostly due to a lack of poise, Angelo wrote. Well, you would think that those type of things wouldn't make you trade for somebody like that in the 2009 offseason. But he did. Angelo goes on to say, he's not comfortable reading defenses and consequently locks on to a favorite or predetermined target that may or may not be the right choice. The less he's asked to see, the better he is. A better half-field general than a full-field one. This will be his make-or-break year. Needs to be the biggest critic of himself and hold himself accountable. Gosh, I can't imagine that Jerry Angelo would turn all those things into a positive and trade Kyle Orton for Jay Cutler, but he did. He sent 2 first-round picks and a third-round selection along with Kyle Orton to the Broncos for Cutler in 2009, and as Ryan Risky pointed out, we also got a 5th-round selection for that, right?
Yeah, we got a...
I wonder who we used on that.
Don't forget, we got a 5th-round pick in return with Cutler.
Woo!
I think that pick was used on Zach Bowman.
So, not the worst, not the best. I don't know. Cutler is the Bears' franchise leader in passing yards, partly because the Bears haven't had any good quarterbacks ever, besides Sid Luckman, and career passer rating of 84.3. But Chicago has reached the postseason only one time, that was in 2010, in Cutler's 6 seasons on the job. The quarterback is on his 5th offensive coordinator, 3rd head coach, and 3rd general manager as a member of the Bears. So you can just look at all the people that he runs out of town. Though head coach John Fox is pleased with Cutler's preseason performance, so is Lovie Smith and Mark Trestman, Cutler's future with the Bears beyond 2015 is unknown, except that $10 million of the quarterback's 2016 salary is already guaranteed. Fox says, I've gotten a lot of questions on Jay. It's going to be how he performs. I thought he had a good outing versus Miami. I'm sure he wants to have a better one and would hope
Didn't he throw
everyone
2 passes in that game, though?
He threw 2 or 3 passes. He played, 12 12 series or a couple things. I don't know. He's working at it. Done everything we've asked. Work ethic is not a problem. We just have to perform, not just Jay. So John Fox says pretty much what Lovie Smith and Mark Trestman say before every season with Jay Cutler, and yeah, there you go. Though these last 2 years were kind of lost because there weren't any coaches. It was like you and me out there trying to coach, which we would have done a better job. But that's sort of how it is. But I can't believe Jerry Angelo, the guy who traded for him. He was so high on Jay Cutler. He traded bad Kyle Orton for Jay Cutler.
It
was a big blockbuster trade that broke when I mean everyone was freaking out about it. And he now ranks him 21st among current QBs. And he cites all his problems, that he has a lack of leadership and all that jazz. I mean, come on, Jerry Angelo. You would think you'd have some nicer things to say about your main guy.
That Jerry Angelo didn't think that he needed to get offensive linemen to protect his quarterback or wide receivers for his quarterback to throw to.
No, of course not. All right, let's turn our attention to the Cubs game right now. Jake Arrieta gotten the first two out. It looks like there's top of the first two outs. I guess that's Freddie Freeman up there. Sure looks like Freddie Freeman. Yeah, so like I said, Jake Arrieta is going to throw a no-hitter. I just want to. Well, now I just hope he does, so I can listen back to the show and be like, I predicted it like 5 times, and he did. But it probably won't happen. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean, another kind of upsetting news with the Bears. Eric Kramer, former Bears quarterback from the mid-'90s, he was pretty good a couple years. He had an attempted suicide attempt. That's just another scary thing that happens with football players when they keep getting hit in the head and concussions and then getting hit. Something's not right in their brain after they're done playing. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is, and it's always sad to hear when you hear guys trying to commit suicide.
Right. I feel like it's sort of like an epidemic that started like 10 years ago when, football players started to kill themselves. It was, who was that killed himself like in 07 or 08? I think it was Steve McNair, I think it was, the former Titans quarterback, right? Something like that. He killed himself. There's just been a lot of sad things in the NFL that's going on. It's just it makes you have to be really aware with concussions, and that's why they have all those concussion protocols and everything now. It's kind of scary, but yeah, Eric Kramer, I guess, is doing okay. He's in a hospital right now, obviously, but yeah. But back to the Bears' injuries, as they definitely had a lot of bad things happen. Bears Charles Leno practiced with the starters at right tackle today. That's because Jordan Mills has a calf injury right now, and I don't think many people thought Jordan Mills would be a difference maker anyway. So I guess this is sort of a moot point as Charles Leno is trying to secure that right tackle start. Which I guess if he does, great. If he doesn't, that's fine too.
Yeah, and again, we're talking Bears here on the Sports Renegades on SportsTownChicago.com, and it's also National Radio Day.
It is National Radio Day. I saw that, so happy National Radio Day, everybody. Jake Arrieta got out of the first inning with no damage done, so he's going to be our savior tonight. We're going to win because of him, and I think Anthony Rizzo's going to have a big day too. But yeah, like you said, National Radio Day. How exciting.
Yeah.
We're a part of it.
We are. Happy National Radio Day, and hopefully Chris Bryant can keep his hot streak going. He had 4 hits for the first time in his career last night.
He did.
And it's funny because before the game he said, "I'm not the kind of guy that that's like a 4-hit kind of guy." And then what happened? He had 4 hits.
Yeah, he looked really good yesterday. He looked good. Schwarber looked good. Fowler's been on fire. I actually just added Fowler on my fantasy team. I dropped Soler and added Fowler, so one outfielder for another on the Cubs.
Yeah. Soler's been a disappointment with the power numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought he'd hit more home. He's just not like hitting fly balls.
He's getting hits. He's going like 2 for 4 every day.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you watch the balls he hits in the air are all like infield pop-ups. He's hitting too many ground balls for a guy that needs to be hitting more.
It's kind of like how Anthony Rizzo keeps like popping up to the first and second base side. It's very interesting.
Yeah, he's just missing these pitches right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it a slump necessarily because he has still been doing really good. Not like a month or two ago when he was in a legitimate slump. He's definitely not in that now. So that's good news. And I think against the Braves here, he's gonna break out. I could see him hitting a home run tonight for sure. We'll take a break right now, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some other stuff and more stuff. And we haven't talked about the Bulls in a while. Maybe we'll talk about them a little bit moving on. So we'll see, and we'll keep you updated on the Cubs game. You're listening to the Sports Renegades here on SportsTownChicago.com. The Sports Renegades podcast on SportsTownChicago.com.